Okay. I'm just making a video to say what I want to say about this election because I don't know. I probably don't have the same opinion as a lot of people on either side of the line, really. But the question has been in my head: what do you do if the majority of Americans don't find either candidate acceptable? Right. I'm not saying that that was the case in this election or that it could be in the next election, but it may be with the track that we're on. I feel like that people should feel that the seat of the most powerful person in the world, um, when that's being voted upon, people should feel inspired. People should feel beside themselves, taken aback at the intellect of the candidates who may fill that position. They may feel like this person is building. They should feel like this person is building on the success and the administrations that came before them in ways that have not been seen before. They should feel like these people are capable of creating well-architected policy that can help people on both sides of a line who disagree with each other, right? Can you architect policies that help people who disagree on both sides, right? How can you be creative and design policy that's able to do that, acknowledge the differences amongst your people, and come up with well-designed policy that allows and empowers both sides, right? To live in localities where they're happy and satisfied with the policies that they live under. Um, it's a very powerful seat, and I think we've gotten pretty far away from that. So the question comes to my mind, like, what do people do if neither candidate is acceptable? And so everybody popularly says, go out and vote, go out and vote. Yeah, everybody go out and vote. Show up to vote. You got to vote. Everybody's got to vote. But I would argue something that's slightly game theory in nature that is also possible. And because I have, classically, historically, I always voted democratically in my entire life. That's just the way that I happened to vote in the past. And so I have a lot of Republican friends. I grew up in a town that has 26 people in my class, very small town. I have plenty of Republican friends. I have plenty of Democratic friends. I understand arguments on both sides of the line. And 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 I think that if you're going to show up and your vote's going to cancel out with somebody who you know and trust and love, somebody who you break bread with in your house, somebody who you would trust to watch your children and protect your children, right? If you disagree with somebody politically across the aisle, you can show up to the booth and you can vote and cancel each other at the booth. But if you both disagree with the candidates that are at play, you just put in a vote of confidence. You've supported the process that produced those candidates, right? So you can cancel each other out at the booth, or you can cancel each other out at home and agree to reduce the voter turnout, right? When neither candidate is acceptable for some reason, whatever reason you choose, it's your own prerogative. But if neither candidate is acceptable, there's this understanding that we still need to go out and vote and that we still need to support the system that produced these candidates. And I just don't think that that's true. I'm sorry, but I think that's how we got here. We got to, I mean, look at the candidates who have been in place over the past, like 10 years, 8 years, 12 years. It's just it's it's playing on the division amongst our country as opposed to encouraging unity, right? Like everybody's pretty aware of that now. But imagine for a moment that you paired up with somebody across the aisle and you said, I'm not satisfied with these candidates. Are you satisfied with these candidates? Somebody you trust, right? And you teamed up across the aisle to not vote. You cancel out each other's votes at home. You drive the voter turnout down. If everybody did what I'm saying who isn't satisfied with either candidate, imagine that less than a quarter or less than a third of all the American voters actually showed up to vote. What do you think would happen with the campaign money? Do you think that the money would force better leaders to emerge? Do you think they're going to spend $1 billion on a campaign that people aren't going to vote for, right? Play the card, play the hand that was dealt against the money-driven system that we're operating in. If you want better leaders showing up to vote no matter who they put on the ballot, what if both candidates are appointed in the next election? What are you going to do? You're going to show up and vote? You're going to just keep voting away and ride the ship down all the way? There's the image in my head of Jack Sparrow showing up on the boat as it's sinking and stepping onto the dock as the boat goes under, right? Is that us? Are we going to do that? Or is there a better way to drive and affect change? Now ask yourself, if everybody just continues to vote no matter who's on the ballot, do you see change? Do you see strong leaders emerge? No, you see reinforced support for the current system that's in place. If you're starting to identify that the candidates are not acceptable, or that they maybe almost weren't acceptable in the case of Biden-Trump race, for example, then maybe it's time to do something a little more clever. If you have any friends or people you love across the aisle, right? Can you do something a little smarter? Is the lack of a vote in normal circumstances would be argued as, oh, well, it's a vote for the other side, and it'll be your fault if the other person's elected. Well, guess what? We live in a nation where most people, if you look statistically, are in most states there is a high number of people who are voting not for the other person, right? If that is the case, you're not taken aback and inspired by the person that you're voting for, who's going to fill the most powerful seat on planet Earth, then there's a problem there. And the third vote, the third way to vote isn't for a third party candidate or somebody to detract your vote away. I mean, maybe it isn't. It's fine if that's your choice. But there's also the power to not vote together with somebody across the aisle. Think about if everybody did that. You would have Democrats and Republicans getting together in unity to discuss why the candidates are not acceptable, right? And affecting change. You would have people coming together, driving a loud message to the system that's producing these candidates. If everybody did what I'm saying, who was dissatisfied with the candidates, you would see stronger leaders emerge, no doubt. If everybody just keeps plugging away, then how's that going? That's my point, is that if you want to see unity between Democrats and Republicans, if you want to see stronger leaders emerge, if you want to see leaders emerge who are both proficient and deserving and worthy of the most powerful seat on planet Earth, then maybe it's time to do something a little more clever. That's all.